Beverly Hills Cop 3. This is the finale to my Beverly Hills Cop series of reviews. So if you want to see me review the whole franchise, here you go. I did not love this movie. And of course, this movie is widely criticized as being the worst of the franchise. And I think with this franchise, this is an example of a franchise where the worst of the franchise really isn't a big deal because all these movies are very entertaining movies. So take that with a grain of salt when you hear any people say this is the worst one. That doesn't mean don't go watch it. That doesn't mean any of that. It is a fun movie. You'll have a good time. I think for me, there's some things that really bother me about this movie, and we'll get into that. But I still really like this movie for just being entertaining, right? So let's get into what works about this movie. I think the amusement park setting is actually pretty cool, and it has a lot of unique stuff to the movie. And George Lucas actually has a cameo in this movie that's really good. And of course, Eddie Murphy's Axel Foley is great. And there's a lot of great humor in this movie that actually works, mostly from Eddie Murphy. There's more that doesn't, but we'll get into that. But for the most part, all that works. So yeah, let's get into the negatives. The biggest problem with this movie for me is this is the silliest Beverly Hills Cop movie. I mean, think about it. The main setting of this movie is an amusement park. This movie starts out with this shootout and it has like some characters dancing, and it was just really like, what the fuck? For a minute, and then the chief fucking dies, and it's played off like a fucking joke. And like, I know this franchise is inherently goofy, there's lots of comedic elements, but like, it still had somewhat of a grounded tone, not like super grounded. It's still mostly comedic, but like, the fuck, bro? And that's a character that you liked. He added stuff to the movies, and now he's fucking dead. I mean, most of the movie is Axel trying to, avenge this dude, but yeah, it's played as a joke at the beginning of the movie, so it's kind of weird, and I just don't like that. And also, the main villain of this movie just really doesn't work. Just wasn't really an interesting character. I mean, not that this franchise ever did have particularly interesting villains. But still, I just really didn't get into this one because of that. I mean, so much of the comedy just didn't work, and some of it is just a little distasteful, especially for characters like that you actually like, and just felt very off. So that's my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts. Like, share, and subscribe.